Hello everyone! I tried making this video ages ago, but I kept getting errors and I'm also away for a while, so that's why I wanted to make it. Enjoy! The Roblox Squid Games are crazy. Of course I played this before, but now I'm on my new account for this channel. And of course first is red light, green light, and you better believe I'm making it true. And as we started I noticed the glorious King LeBron. He was aura farming as usual until he ran over to try and grief me. But of course he missed me and looked at me with bloodlust in his eyes. As I was heavily injured after surviving a bullet shot, everyone left me, except a man more gracious than LeBron came to save me, called Woo Hoo, and I knew I had to keep him safe. As we reached the finish line, like I said we would, we celebrated, but not too much because we knew that Dalgona is next. When I was getting my honeycomb cookie, I got disrespected by the guard. He pushed me with his gun, but I got on with it. When I got my cookie, I opened it and I couldn't believe it. My heart sank because I got the Mona Lisa. I was shaking, but I do love a challenge, so I went on. So far, so good, not even a crack. Now I tried to lock in, but I just couldn't. My toes curled so much they were practically about to fall off. My hands were shaking so hard my room was shaking. Then it started to crack, but then I realized there's probably a crowd watching, so then my hands stopped and were like steel. You can call me player 044 because at this moment I felt chosen by God. Trying to get food was a nightmare as everyone was pushing, but I got some. Of course, during Lights Out, I was being awesome, as always, until someone hit me and I ran like a coward. At this point, I accepted my fate as I was being chased by half the lobby, but then I saw who get killed, and then they took me. But it was okay because there's no point of living without woo-hoo. Today, we're in the shrimp games, not the ink games, and I'm confident about winning. Good old-fashioned red light, green light, the classic. I thought I was in the front, but my hopes and dreams were crushed when I looked around at red light. Of course I made it. Don't want to get eliminated in the first game. And now we're in Dalgona. Should be easy as long as it's not hard, but even if we get Mona Lisa, I could do it. Upon picking a door, I picked lucky number 3, and I was right as I got triangle. Without wasted time, I did it easily. And I also went down this slide and got a badge for it, and I was a proud owner of that badge. And of course, next is the pentathlon. This game is how I feel editing this, just going in a circle. I struggled at first like a fish on land, but after a while I was going faster. Then the detective finding the island, which is impossible to not do. Next is Mingle, which is the one I was most scared of, mostly because of the fact it relies on social skills, and I haven't seen another human being in years, so I felt cooked. But of course, not even social skills can stop the unemployed legend known as me. So when it said 1, I was already in a room of 1. And the same when it said 3, I just followed people into a room with these 2 randoms. We looked out as people were put to sleep. It said 3 again, and I was already in a room with 2 other people. So we were safe, although I am confused as it said they replaced Mingle with jump rope, but it seems to be randomized. I survived, of course, and was ready for the next game. It was glass bridge, and people actually jumped, except the 2 other people at the end wouldn't jump. One even said they had a wife and kids. I decided to make a sacrifice for the greater good, and jumped, and of course I chose the wrong one, and we see the unfortunate end of this tragic story. Today I will escape this prison. So I went through the sewers to try to escape, and it smelled like an average Redditor, except for the ones who are cool, like the ones who watch this video. I went up through this ladder just to see I'm still in the prison, so I jumped back down. Now I had to do a little bit of parkour, but it's no challenge for the unemployed legend. And I want to take this time to thank you guys. My first video is almost at 1,000 views, and that is epic, so thank you. I went up this ladder, of course, and we were outside and free, but then I saw it a camper. I was furious at this moment, but I wouldn't have much time to think since he instantly arrested me. Look at him waiting for his next victim. What a freak. And before I knew it, I was back in prison feeling like a Minecraft YouTuber. Looking through the bars as tears meet my eyes, everything was ripped away from me. My life flashed before my eyes. But of course the doors opened eventually and I was let back into the wild. I escaped easily by doing some hardcore parkour, which lead me to freedom, and before I knew I was running towards my way out of the prison. And then I drove into the sunset in satisfaction. I want to thank you guys for the support. I really enjoy making these. Love you all, and that's me out. Hello, everyone. So we have a mission today in Jailbreak, and that's to make it to the top of the wanted board. So first I was robbing the train. As I got on the train, I ran across the top to the back of the train. Then I made it and jumped into the train, and I saw gold. Now, one thing about me is that I like gold. Now I am going to rob the temple. My grandparents always say how things were better back in their day, and this temple looks ancient just like them. No offense, any grandparents out there, but one thing that stands out is that the temple doesn't look like it's been in a bath for all its life. I grabbed the diamond and the roof started coming down on. I terrified. I already had a sweaty butt, and I had to leave. But then a door opened and I got in a minecart and barely escaped, because apparently the temple is like Diddy's mansion. I had to dodge all these obstacles, and I went through this cave, and then the minecart stopped, and I left smoothly and got into a car and left. I had a bounty of 2,000, and of course something went wrong as I got attacked by a hacker. Now people say hackers hack because they're bad at the game, but this jerk was bad even with hacks as they struggled to arrest me. But when I checked the board, a tear hit my eye. I noticed that the hacker has arrested all the criminals and took their bounty. So in the end, no one won the most wanted. I decided to start growing a garden in Grow a Garden. I quickly ran over to my garden. I even had a picture of me on the sign. I ran to the shop to get some seeds. When I was there, the only thing in stock were carrots, but I bought them anyway and planted them, and I let them be. Then I collected them to sell for more seeds. I ran over and I sold them for 88 V-bucks, or whatever the currency in this game is. And I bought more carrot seeds and even some strawberry seeds. I planted them and watched them grow, and while we wait, I wanted to ask if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe, and I'll make more. And it means the world to me anyway. Back to the game, we are trying to reach 100 subscribers, so feel free to join our journey. My first strawberry shot out and I was emotional. It was like giving birth. Here's a montage of me doing nothing interesting except I found this weird-looking dude. But then I looked around. It's like my garden versus the garden she tells you not to worry about. After doing some parkour, which I did first time, as I am the unemployed legend, and as I reached the top, I realized we must be in a simulation where we are forced to grow our gardens, and I knew there was one way to escape. I was scared, but I had to take the risk as it would be great to leave this simulation, so I jumped. Today we're locking in on Squid Game. The front man came in looking epic. I mean, the man literally can't stop aura farming, and I vibe with it. And in red light, green light, this dude had his I played these games before moment just before the game started. When it started, I was going good. I sped the game up so you can all see the full thing as nothing interesting happened, and I passed by getting carried by this gentleman. And them guards are shooting innocent players. I want to hit them red guards. But do you know what else is red and you should hit? The subscribe button, of course. And now we are getting our photos taken, and I finally got to take my photo. In Dalgona, I got the star nothing too crazy. Pretty easy, not gonna lie. As I had confidence, which always gets you through things. As I started, I just sped through like Usain Bolt after drinking 10 pouches of Capri Sun. It cracked, but it's still no challenge for as I had to make it past. Then I started dancing as in lights out. I may have died last time, but I will survive this time, I'm sure of it. So we're back in the Squid Games ready for more, and the front man has so much aura, it's unbelievable. In red light, green light, I made my first enemy as he pushed me and got away, and my next enemy was acting innocent at first, and I fell for his act as he carried me. But then he did something so hurtful, so emotional, so evil. He left me to help someone else. But then a man who reminded me of Who from my first video came back to help me. He was like my knight in shiny armor. A man by the name of MG Coin, and he's not player 333, but we made it. But then he said something, and I'm pretty sure he's the front man, and his number 001. Then I saw my second enemy player 061, and this made him my main enemy after he hit me and beat me. I'm barely able to hold my rage like a jar with the heat of 270 degrees, but then a big smile hit my face as my main enemy got sprayed by the guards. Then I took my photo, look how charming I look. Then we went to Dalgona. I do love Dalgona as it's nice and satisfying, and I love challenges. I am the unemployed legend after all. As I was filled with anticipation, I opened my cookie and I got Sackboy, and I was extremely surprised. But I was doing this as one of my enemies are alive, and it's going to be a bright future bed. He won't be in it. I actually survived lights out for once, and I voted to play hide and seek, of course, and prayed that I was a seeker so I could hunt, and I couldn't help but do an evil laugh as I got seeker. I already had the taste of blood in my mouth. I felt like a shark in an aquarium at feeding time as I was handed my knife. And as we dispatched into the maze of joy and happiness, blood splashes everywhere as my smile gets bigger with each stab, as he tries to escape. I love when they run in fear. Of course, he didn't get far as I felt like a lion attacking a deer on Animal Planet. After he put up a great fight, and I had no idea how he was still alive. But then he finally fell lifeless. I could have looked at the corpse for hours, but I wanted more of that satisfaction. So I ran off into the wilds of the night. And that's when I found R.I.P., and it makes sense since he would match his name in a few seconds, as he was a fast one, but in no time, he was R.I.P. by name and R.I.P. by nature. Next was Glass Bridge, and this was great, as loads of folks met their end in brutal ways by falling great heights, and I knew I wasn't jumping. My last enemy had a pathetic death as he missed the platform. As we went on, my patience was running out, and people were making excuses not to go, but time was running out, so they went anyway. But people weren't going fast enough, and I saw my dead enemies for a second, but then people finally started moving again, and we eventually made it. We have to vote now. I voted to stay, obviously, as I was so blinded by money. Mingle is next. Nothing interesting happened in Mingle except this person had the death. Next was the last round where I almost died as I think Milo wanted to kill me, but as he closed the door, Naka pushed him out. I was thankful, but I knew the next game was Squid Game, and that we would have to fight, and I wasn't ready, as I think I've regained my humanity in this moment. I didn't want to fight him. But these games have changed me, and as soon as I regain humanity, it gets ripped away from me again. I could have voted to stop, but my greed got the best of me, and now I witness the consequences of my actions. I was blinded by money because I had nothing left. I was forced to fight the man who saved me, but I couldn't fight anymore. The ink games got wild, so I was playing with sand in red light, green light. Then I was running and I got shot in the leg and continued going, and even made it to the end limping. And Dalgona isn't even a challenge for me. You can call me Nike because I just do it, and the guards really wanted me to win by giving me a circle. I did it nice and quick. As I am the unemployed legend, I didn't even need to lick it or use a lighter. Most people were still going and I was done, so that was nice. In hide and seek I got hider, but you could say I was a seeker for seekers as I killed 3 seekers by luring them into this pit. The first one fell while trying to get around this door. How pathetic. And the second one was hiding for some reason, even though he's a seeker. I pushed him in, and the third one charged through the door and fell into the spikes. In Glass Bridge, I had the most shameful experience in my life. I accidentally walked off the platform, but good thing I had a revive, so I used it and came back, and good thing I did as I locked in and carried. I was going crazy. I couldn't believe how I did that. All I knew is that I could see which glass has been tampered as I worked with glass for 30 years. And we made it, of course, with my amazing senses. But something my senses have never predicted happened in Mingle. But because of my greed, I voted to continue. And in Mingle, as we spun around, I started to panic as I was scared I wouldn't find a room. In the first round, it was 3 and 4 people got into a room, and this gentleman got choked out and thrown into the wall. It was 2, and there was 3 of us. We all ran into a room, and I closed the door, and to my surprise, I got put in a chokehold. And I didn't even have time to react, as my neck snapped like a pencil, and then they danced on my body. In Glass Bridge, did I really save the people who wanted to kill me? Doing jump rope in the ink games is impossible. In red light, green light, someone got pushed into me, and I got shot in the leg, and then I got hit. I was truly being bullied in the Squid Games, and I don't support it. But then I saw another man who was injured, so we helped each other get to the end, and we made it. And in Dalgona, I got a triangle, and I was smiling like a parrot on a hot summer day, and I may have cracked it since I was trying to be as quick as possible, but no cracks can stop me since I finished it nice and easy. And in Lights Out, I was just chilling on the top of the beds. But then this buttface pushed me off, and you know I had to end him. So when I was attacking, someone else took the kill. I was mad, but I carried on since who I was going for was gone. I looked at the body and then aura farmed because I was bored and didn't have anyone I wanted to kill. So when the lights came on and we voted, I voted for hide and seek. But tug of war won. I was disappointed, but the games have to continue. So when we got to tug of war, I was desperate to get a good team. And when we got to the platform, my team looked good, but they were saying we were cooked. So I was worried, but we locked in and we won easily. We couldn't celebrate for long because next was jump rope, and since it was new, I didn't know what to do. I thought we would just walk and jump, but I was very wrong as I was soon to find out it's way harder. Then I watched people go before I went, and only one was making it. Everyone else was falling off, and I was scared. I couldn't watch for long as I knew I had to go since there was a time limit. I was scared and picked up enough courage to go. So when I went, I got knocked over and was super confused. I got back up and messed up. Then I took the Nam-Gyu way out. So today we're back in Grow a Garden and we're going to make money no matter what. So I ran to my good friend Steven to sell some fruit for 657 shekels. And then went to buy some seeds to enhance my garden for the upcoming Diddy Garden party. Oh no, crap. I mean the garden contest. Oh, I'm so cooked. Sorry for my mistake. Now let's continue and pretend I didn't say anything, and let's buy and plant some bombs. I mean seeds. Yeah, seeds. Now I've seen some guys with crazy gardens, and I was jealous, so I thought I could catch up to them by grinding and collecting money. And as you can see, there was a snowstorm. But you know me, I'm already cold, so I don't need snow. So I went to the shop, and if I really want money, I should really just rob the shop by gunpoint. But you know, it's a garden game, so there's no violence. After planting the the seeds. Yeah, after we planted the seeds, things were going well. I was going to collect all my stuff like a vacuum and sell it all for some shekels. Scoutmaster Consequence said if I didn't, he'd show me some real consequences, and I'd rather not know what they were. So me, following the rules, went to Steven, and while I was selling my stuff to him, he told me he wanted to give me some seeds. I just need to follow him to his garden, but I'd rather not, as I always hear screaming coming from there. I really do love this game, so calm and relaxing, except for random screaming that happens a lot. I don't look into it though, since I have better stuff to be doing. After a while, I did buy this bamboo stick worth 4,000 shekels, and I was glad as I felt like I finally achieved something great. And when I planted it, I looked at it growing like a proud father watching his son grow up, almost brings me to tears. It was another day in the Squid Games, and red light, green light was enjoyable, as for once I actually made it across without being shot. So now red light, green light felt more like a game, and not like I'm storming Area 51. And when I was getting my photo, I was pushed, so in the photo, I'm absent, like my father during my childhood. And I got the circle and I was so locked in. Don't mind the cracks and mistakes. It's kinda hard to focus when a guard is pointing a gun at you and your hands are shaking like a Minecraft YouTuber when they hear the police outside. But of course, like I predicted, I finished the cookie. And in Lights Out, I will admit it, I was hiding like a little coward, as I didn't want to be destroyed by a group of 5 people, but I eventually searched because I had a craving for blood and found this gentleman in the bathroom and went to butcher him. As I gave the bathroom walls a new layer of red paint, he escaped and I couldn't catch him. I was so mad that I started searching the bathroom but couldn't find anything. Then I went into the other bathroom and found a bloodbath caused by this gang of very friendly-looking folks. So I decided to leave, as it's probably a good idea to not get on their bad side. In hide and seek, I got Hider, and I was so mad I just wanted to be caught. But I still ran off to find somewhere to hide, and now this round of hide and seek was just me being chased by this dude the whole time. He had a thirst for blood, and it just happened to be mine. and he was dedicated to killing me. I tried to find a hiding spot, but his desire to live was way bigger than mine. It was getting harder to survive with each stab, making it harder to run. What made me even more scared is that, as Cuff Block says, the lion always catches its prey. But hopefully I'm an exception, but I had to wait and see, assuming this guy might give up. I was hopeless with the option of running, as all it will do is make my death a little longer, but I did it anyway with the thought of a little bit of hope. But then he caught me and then aggressively stabbed me, and then I took my last breath. It was another day in the Squid Games, and today I was going to be the hero. And in red light, green light, it was all going well until I saw this gentleman getting shot, and I was going to help him no matter what. I grabbed him down, and we made it to the end together, and it felt great. Finally doing good for the world. And that's when I found this person injured at the start of the field, and I was going to be a hero. So I ran to save her. That was until I met a man called Uyui. He was pure evil, and he wanted me gone, and I couldn't let his dreams come through, so I had to make him. I will admit I was terrified, but I'm not dying to him. But then this gentleman came to help me, and then Uyui came and hit us, so I did what had to be done. I felt an unnerving guilt, but it was for the better. But then I saw he survived. And then I saw the next victim I couldn't save, as he suffered a very gruesome death as the doors locked him in with the guards, and then we saw his corpse. When we took our photo, I remembered I don't show my face, so I moved. In Dalgona, I got the Sackboy cookie and did it with ease, as I felt like I had diesel in my veins with a few cracks, but just ignore them and pretend there's none. I was dancing until Uyui pushed me, and this is when I knew he was my worst enemy yet. Of course, I got revenge and pushed him into the wall. When I got my food, I was ready to prepare for lights out and to not end anyone, because I came here to save lives, not take them. But when I saw Uyui, I knew he had to go for the better. When he ran away, I realized this isn't what I came here for, and let him leave. In tug of war, my team looked like they knew what they were doing, so we locked in. We started tugging in the war, pulling as hard as we can, and in the end we won, of course. And when tug of war ended, I noticed that Uyui was put to an end in tug of war, and I was complete. But I forgot the hardest game was next jump rope. Since I was the hero, I went as soon as I can to try show people what to do. But my timing was off, and I broke my leg, and eventually I couldn't do it anymore, and fell. Is this what I get for being a hero?